This Valentine will change everything between you and your soulmate. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because the energy surrounding this Valentine is not ordinary. It's charged with destiny, timing, and emotional awakening. And if you've felt a strange heaviness lifting lately, or a quiet excitement rising in your chest without knowing why, that's not random. That's alignment beginning to move. And listen closely, the universe has been rearranging emotional timelines behind the scenes, nudging both you and your soulmate toward the same turning point. And your heart needs this right now because you didn't survive all those lonely nights, unanswered questions, and emotional lessons for nothing. You were being prepared for this exact moment. And don't scroll, because this Valentine carries a vibration of truth, the kind that pulls hidden feelings to the surface and softens hearts that have been guarded for too long. And listen to this, your soulmate has been feeling it too, maybe not consciously, but in subtle ways: restless sleep, sudden memories of you appearing out of nowhere, emotional waves hitting without explanation. And those are signs of spiritual connection activating, not coincidence, not imagination, but soul recognition stirring again. And your heart needs this right now because you've been growing quietly, healing old wounds, learning self-respect, learning patience, learning how to love yourself deeper than before. And that inner work is what makes this Valentine different from all the others. This one is not about flowers or gifts, it's about emotional shifts, honest communication, and heart-level breakthroughs. And don't scroll, because the universe has marked this period with signs, repeating numbers like 1111 showing up when you think about love, 222 appearing when partnership crosses your mind, 55 flashing when change feels close. These are confirmations that something meaningful is unfolding. And listen to this, your soulmate is being spiritually pushed to stop hiding, to stop suppressing emotion, to stop delaying truth. And this pressure is not stress, it's awakening, the kind that makes someone finally choose vulnerability over fear, honesty over silence. And your heart needs this right now because vulnerability is the doorway to real connection. And this Valentine opens that door wider than you expect. And don't scroll, because you may already feel it, a gentle pull to check your phone more often, an urge to clear emotional clutter, a desire to release past resentment. These impulses are preparation, your soul making space for what's coming. And listen closely. Preparation is powerful because it removes resistance before manifestation arrives, and resistance is what blocked connection before. And now alignment is replacing it, and your heart needs this right now because you are not the same person you were last Valentine. You are wiser, stronger, more emotionally aware, more selective about what you allow into your heart. And that growth is attracting a different outcome this time, one built on clarity instead of confusion, stability instead of chaos, depth instead of surface-level emotion. And don't scroll, because this Valentine carries the energy of emotional courage. The moment where one of you finally takes a step forward, sends the message, makes the call, speaks the truth, or creates an opportunity that changes everything. And listen to this, it may not look dramatic on the outside, but it will feel powerful inside, calm excitement mixed with warmth, peace paired with anticipation. And your heart needs this right now because that feeling is how the soul recognizes alignment, not through logic, not through overthinking, but through resonance. And don't scroll, because part of you may still doubt, wondering if something good can really happen after everything you've been through. But doubt is the final test before breakthrough, the moment where faith is asked to stay steady even when proof hasn't arrived yet. And listen to this, the universe doesn't respond to impatience, it responds to readiness. And you are ready now, emotionally available without desperation, hopeful without attachment, open without losing boundaries, and your soulmate is reaching that readiness too, shedding emotional baggage, releasing old fears, realizing that connection is worth the risk. And don't scroll, because this Valentine is not about repeating the past, it's about rewriting the story, choosing differently, loving healthier, communicating honestly, and building something real. And listen to this, when the moment comes, your intuition will recognize it instantly, your chest will feel lighter, your mind calmer, your heart more open. And your heart needs this right now because that recognition is the confirmation you've been waiting for, the sign that patience mattered, that healing was seen, that growth was rewarded. And don't scroll, because this is only part one, this is the awakening phase, the moment the universe is getting your attention before everything shifts, and what comes next will reveal how this Valentine unfolds, what action matters most, and why this timing holds deep spiritual meaning for your soulmate journey. So stay present. Stay emotionally open, stay grounded, because destiny is already moving, and your love story is about to enter a powerful new chapter. Stay right here, because now the energy around this Valentine begins revealing how the shift will actually unfold. And listen closely, this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now, because what's approaching is not a random romantic moment, it's a turning point shaped by emotional alignment and spiritual timing. And this alignment has been forming quietly through the lessons you've learned, the patience you've built, and the self-respect you've cultivated. And while you've been strengthening internally, your soulmate has been moving through their own awakening, confronting feelings they once avoided, reflecting on choices they once ignored, and realizing that something meaningful has been unfinished between you. And this realization is creating momentum, the urge to act instead of delay, to speak instead of remain silent, to show up instead of disappear. And this momentum is guided, not impulsive, shaped by emotional readiness rather than temporary desire. And your heart needs this right now because readiness changes everything. It transforms how connection is experienced, not as emotional chaos, but as grounded intimacy. And grounded intimacy feels different, it carries calm, safety, and sincerity. And this Valentine is opening the door to that frequency, and you may already sense subtle changes in your emotional landscape, feeling more reflective, more aware of what you truly want from partnership, more selective about the energy you allow into your space. And this awareness is preparing you to receive what's coming without repeating old patterns, and repeating patterns was part of the past cycle, and now that cycle is closing through growth and understanding. And this stage is also marked by signs from the universe, small but meaningful confirmations that alignment is strengthening, repeating numbers showing up during moments of reflection, unexpected emotional clarity, synchronicities that feel too precise to be coincidence. And these signals are not meant to confuse you, they are meant to reassure you, reminding you that timing is unfolding exactly as it should. And this reassurance is important, because part of you may still carry fear of disappointment, the protective instinct that formed after past emotional pain. And while protection once kept you safe, now it is being softened to allow connection to grow. And this softening is not about becoming vulnerable without boundaries, it is about choosing openness with awareness, allowing your heart to be present without losing your center. And this balance is what makes this Valentine different, because it's not about chasing affection, it's about meeting alignment. And alignment does not require force, it flows naturally when both sides are ready, and both sides are reaching that readiness now. And your soulmate is feeling it too, sensing emotional pressure not as stress, but as clarity, the feeling that something needs to be expressed, that silence no longer feels comfortable, that honesty is becoming unavoidable, and this honesty may arrive in different forms: a message that opens conversation, an invitation that creates space to connect, a confession that brings emotional truth to the surface, or a simple gesture that carries deep meaning, and whatever form it takes, it will feel purposeful, not accidental. And your heart needs this right now, because this purpose is connected to your spiritual growth, not just romance, but awakening, the realization that love is not about dependency, but about shared evolution, mutual respect, and emotional presence, and this Valentine carries that awakening energy, encouraging both of you to rise into healthier emotional expression. And this stage is also about preparation on your side, clearing emotional clutter, releasing resentment, letting go of old expectations, forgiving past versions of yourself and them, and this emotional clearing is creating space for new experiences to enter, and space is essential, because crowded emotional space cannot receive new energy fully, while openness invites fresh beginnings. And this openness is being cultivated through awareness and intention, and as this phase continues, you may feel drawn to reflect on your values, your boundaries, your vision for partnership, and this reflection is shaping how the universe responds to you, because clarity directs manifestation, while confusion creates mixed signals, and your clarity has been strengthening through growth, making you more magnetic to aligned connection, and magnetism attracts experiences that resonate with your frequency, and this is why this Valentine feels different energetically, because your frequency is different now, and your soulmate's frequency is shifting too, creating resonance where distance once existed, and this resonance is building emotional curiosity, the sense that something meaningful is approaching, and curiosity is healthy, because it keeps you open without attachment, allowing you to receive the moment without rigid expectations, and rigid expectations block surprise, while openness allows magic to appear naturally, and this stage also teaches you to remain present rather than jumping ahead mentally, enjoying the unfolding process instead of rushing toward outcome, because presence allows you to experience the beauty of alignment, the subtle signs, the emotional shifts, the quiet confirmations that guide you along the way, and these experiences are part of the journey, not just the final moment, and as this phase unfolds, you may feel emotional sensitivity increasing, becoming more aware of subtle cues, intuitive nudges, and inner guidance, and this sensitivity is a sign of awakening, the expansion of emotional awareness that allows you to navigate connection with wisdom instead of impulse, and this wisdom will guide you when the moment arrives, helping you respond with calm confidence rather than anxiety, with authenticity rather than performance, with openness rather than fear, and this response will shape how the connection evolves next, because how you receive something determines how it grows. And growth is what this journey has always been about, not just reunion or romance, but evolution into a healthier version of yourself, and as this second phase continues unfolding, you may sense a quiet excitement forming inside you. Not frantic anticipation, but steady readiness, the feeling that something meaningful is aligning, and that readiness is your sign that healing has integrated, that awareness has matured, that your emotional foundation is strong enough to support what's coming, and part 2 ends here because this is the alignment activation stage, the moment where emotional readiness and divine timing begin working together, preparing the path for the next phase, where the Valentine energy starts producing visible shifts and the soulmate connection moves closer to its turning point. Stay connected to this moment, because now the Valentine energy moves into the momentum phase, where alignment transforms into emotional movement and subtle preparation turns into visible change, and listen carefully, this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now, because what has been building quietly is beginning to shift the emotional atmosphere around you, creating openings where distance once existed and clarity where confusion once lived, and this shift is not loud, it is gentle but powerful, like a tide slowly pulling two shores closer together, and while you may not yet see dramatic evidence, you can feel it internally, a quiet sense of anticipation mixed with calm, the feeling that something meaningful is approaching without bringing chaos, and that calm anticipation is the sign of maturity, because it shows you are no longer waiting from desperation, but from grounded readiness. And grounded readiness attracts healthier experiences, and healthier experiences create stronger emotional foundations, and this Valentine is activating that foundation now, and your soulmate is feeling this momentum too, noticing emotional restlessness, deeper reflection, stronger urges to reach out or reconnect, and this restlessness is not anxiety, it is movement, the inner push toward expression after a long period of emotional stillness, and expression is important, because it releases what has been held inside, allowing truth to surface gently instead of building pressure, and your heart needs this right now because truth does not arrive to hurt you, it arrives to free you, and freedom is what this journey has been guiding you toward all along, freedom from old emotional loops, freedom from repeating the same relationship patterns, freedom from carrying unresolved feelings, and as this momentum continues, you may notice changes in your daily rhythm, thinking about your soulmate differently, feeling more neutral instead of triggered, more curious instead of anxious, more open instead of guarded, and these emotional shifts are signs that healing has integrated into your nervous system, allowing you to approach connection from balance rather than reactivity, and this balance is shaping how the upcoming Valentine interaction will unfold, making it steadier, calmer, more intentional, and intentional connection carries depth, because it is built on awareness rather than impulse. And awareness allows you to choose your words more carefully, to listen with presence, to respond with empathy, and these qualities are essential for emotional breakthroughs, and this stage is also about the universe adjusting external circumstances, creating opportunities that place you closer to alignment, whether through timing changes, unexpected invitations, chance encounters, or subtle nudges guiding you towards certain actions, and these adjustments are part of divine orchestration, the process of aligning physical reality with emotional readiness, and when orchestration is active, things begin falling into place with less resistance, less forcing, less struggle, and you may already feel this through moments of ease, where small things work out smoothly, conversations flow naturally, or synchronicities appear unexpectedly, and these are signs that momentum is building, that the path is clearing, that the Valentine energy is creating space for meaningful interaction. And this stage also invites you to refine your emotional intention, clarifying what you want to experience from this connection, not from fantasy, but from reality. What kind of communication feels healthy, what level of emotional honesty you desire, what boundaries protect your peace, and this clarity is guiding the universe in shaping the form the surprise or shift will take, because manifestation responds to intention, not vague wishing, and your intention has become stronger through growth, making you more magnetic to aligned experiences, and magnetism works through resonance, drawing people and situations that match your emotional frequency, and your frequency is rising through self-awareness and healing, allowing higher quality interactions to appear, and this is why this Valentine carries a different energy than past ones, because you are different now, and your soulmate is changing too, becoming more emotionally conscious, more reflective, more aware of what they want and what they are willing to risk emotionally, and this awareness is encouraging them to move beyond comfort zones, to step into vulnerability, to choose honesty over silence, and vulnerability is the gateway to intimacy, and intimacy is what creates deep connection, not physical closeness alone, but emotional presence and shared truth, and this stage is also teaching you how to hold emotional space, the ability to remain calm when feelings intensify, to stay grounded when memories resurface, to remain present during meaningful conversations, and this skill is important, because emotional moments can trigger old patterns, and you are learning how to respond differently now, choosing awareness instead of reaction, patience instead of impulsiveness, and this change will shape how the Valentine shift unfolds, making it constructive rather than chaotic, healing rather than confusing, and this phase is also marked by symbolic confirmations, repeating numbers appearing during emotional reflection, meaningful dreams, unexpected reminders that guide your focus back to this connection, and these signals are not meant to overwhelm you, they are meant to reassure you that alignment is active, that timing is unfolding intentionally, that you are not alone in this process, and this reassurance is important, because trust allows you to remain open without forcing outcomes, and forcing outcomes blocks natural flow, while openness invites organic movement, and organic movement feels natural, steady, and right, and this feeling will guide you when the moment arrives, helping you recognize alignment without needing dramatic proof, and as this momentum phase continues, you may feel a growing sense of emotional courage, the willingness to speak honestly, to initiate connection, to express care without fear of rejection, and this courage is rising because healing has strengthened your sense of self, allowing you to show vulnerability without losing stability. And stability is what allows love to grow sustainably, not burn quickly and fade, and sustainability is what your heart has been preparing for beneath the waiting, not just excitement, but emotional health, not just attention, but mutual effort, and as this phase unfolds, you may sense that the turning point is drawing closer, that the Valentine energy is about to bring something into visibility, whether through conversation, unexpected contact, emotional realization, or opportunity. And this sense is calm rather than frantic, grounded rather than rushed, because it is rooted in readiness rather than desperation, and that grounded readiness is your sign that the universe is aligning both hearts for a meaningful shift, and part 3 ends here because this is the momentum stage, the moment when emotional alignment turns into movement, preparing the way for the next phase, where Valentine's influence becomes tangible and the soulmate connection steps closer to transformation. Stay grounded as this next phase begins unfolding, because now the Valentine energy enters the preparation for manifestation stage, where momentum starts shaping real opportunities and emotional readiness begins creating visible pathways, and listen closely, this message is for you, your heart needs this right now, because what has been building quietly is about to take form through timing, circumstance, and interaction, and this stage carries a unique calm intensity, not chaotic excitement, but steady anticipation, the kind that tells you something meaningful is aligning beneath the surface, and while you may not yet see the full picture, you can sense the shift, the emotional atmosphere becoming lighter, the heaviness of uncertainty lifting, and the feeling that the universe is making room for something new to enter your life, and this making room is happening on both sides of the connection, not only within you, but within your soulmate as well, who is being guided to clear emotional clutter, release old hesitations, and prepare mentally and emotionally for honesty, and honesty is the foundation of real connection, because it allows two people to meet authentically rather than through assumption or fear, and this stage is encouraging you to refine your emotional availability, learning how to open your heart without losing boundaries, how to stay receptive without sacrificing self-respect. And this balance is essential, because it prevents the connection from falling into old patterns of overgiving or emotional withdrawal, and you have been learning this balance through growth, reflection, and self-awareness, and now it is being activated, shaping how you will receive the upcoming Valentine shift, and this activation may show up as subtle internal changes, feeling calmer when thinking about your soulmate, less reactive when memories surface, more present when emotions arise. And these changes are signs that healing has integrated into your emotional foundation, allowing you to approach connection with stability rather than anxiety, and stability attracts healthier interaction, because it creates emotional safety, and emotional safety encourages vulnerability, and vulnerability deepens connection. And this stage is also about the universe aligning external circumstances to support this emotional readiness, adjusting schedules, creating opportunities for communication, placing you in the right emotional and physical spaces to encounter the moment when it arrives, and these adjustments often appear as small shifts, unexpected invitations, changes in routine, chance encounters, or intuitive nudges guiding you toward specific actions, and these are not coincidences, they are part of divine orchestration, the process of aligning the outer world with inner growth, and when orchestration is active, things begin falling into place naturally, without force, without struggle, without emotional turbulence, and you may already feel this. Through moments of ease, where situations resolve smoothly, conversations flow effortlessly, or synchronicities appear that feel meaningful, and these experiences are signs that the path is clearing, making way for manifestation, and this stage also invites you to let go of rigid expectations about how the Valentine moment should unfold, because expectations can block recognition, while openness allows you to see alignment even in simple forms. And openness is a form of trust, trusting that the universe knows how to bring what you need in the way that best supports your growth, and growth is the purpose behind this journey, not just romance, but emotional evolution, and this evolution has been shaping you into a more aware, grounded, and emotionally intelligent version of yourself, capable of handling connection with maturity rather than impulse. And this maturity will influence how the Valentine shift feels, making it steadier, clearer, and more intentional, and this stage is also strengthening your intuition, making you more sensitive to subtle emotional cues, inner guidance, and symbolic signs, helping you recognize when energy feels aligned, when timing feels right, when action feels appropriate. And this intuitive awareness will be important when the moment arrives, because it will guide your response, helping you act from calm clarity rather than nervous excitement. And this response will shape how the connection unfolds next, because how you receive something determines how it grows, and growth is what this journey has been building toward all along, not repeating cycles, not recreating old wounds, but stepping into a new emotional chapter shaped by wisdom and self-awareness, and this stage also encourages emotional honesty with yourself, acknowledging what you truly want from this connection, what kind of partnership energy feels nourishing, what boundaries protect your peace. And this honesty is empowering, because it aligns your actions with your values, and alignment attracts experiences that match your emotional frequency, and your frequency has been rising through healing and reflection, drawing higher quality interactions into your life, and this is why this Valentine energy feels different, because you are different, and your soulmate is changing too, becoming more emotionally conscious, more willing to express vulnerability, more open to meaningful connection. And this mutual evolution is creating resonance, the energetic harmony That allows two people to meet each other at a higher level of awareness, and resonance is what makes soulmate interactions feel special, not because they are perfect, but because they are aligned, and alignment always feels different from chasing. It feels calm, grounded, and right, and this feeling will be your confirmation when the moment arrives, and as this preparation for manifestation stage continues. You may sense a quiet excitement building inside you, not anxious anticipation, but steady readiness, the feeling that something meaningful is approaching and you are prepared to receive it, and this readiness is your sign that healing has stabilized, that awareness has matured, that your emotional foundation is strong enough to support what's coming, and part 4 ends here because this is the alignment to manifestation stage, the moment where emotional readiness and external orchestration converge, setting the stage for the next phase, where Valentine's influence becomes tangible and the soulmate connection moves closer to its transformative moment. Remain present as this next phase unfolds, because now the Valentine energy enters the manifestation approach stage, the moment when preparation becomes encounter and alignment begins expressing itself through real interaction. And listen closely, this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now, because everything that has been shifting internally and externally is converging toward a defining moment, not dramatic chaos, but meaningful contact that carries emotional weight, and this phase feels different from anticipation. It feels grounded, steady, purposeful, like standing at the edge of something new while feeling supported instead of afraid, and this steadiness is important, because it allows you to respond with awareness rather than impulse, with clarity rather than nervous reaction, and as this stage develops, you may notice opportunities appearing more clearly, chances to speak, moments to connect, subtle openings where communication feels natural instead of forced. And these openings are created by the universe through timing adjustments, emotional readiness, and situational alignment, and when these elements come together, things begin unfolding with ease, not struggle, not pressure, not confusion, and ease is your signal that alignment is active, that resistance is dissolving, that flow is replacing stagnation, and your soulmate is stepping into this flow as well, feeling drawn to action, motivated to express feelings, encouraged to bridge emotional distance, and this movement is guided by inner clarity rather than temporary emotion, and clarity creates sincerity, and sincerity is what allows real connection to form, and this phase is also about emotional courage, the willingness to show genuine interest without attachment to outcome, to express care without demanding immediate answers, to approach conversation with curiosity rather than assumption. And this courage is rising because healing has strengthened your sense of self, allowing you to open your heart without losing stability, and stability is what allows connection to deepen sustainably, not burn quickly and fade, and this sustainability is what this Valentine energy supports, not fleeting excitement, but meaningful progress, and this stage also invites you to practice presence during interaction, staying fully engaged instead of mentally jumping ahead to possible outcomes. Because presence allows you to truly experience the moment, to listen deeply, to notice subtle emotional cues, to respond thoughtfully, and thoughtful response builds emotional safety, and safety encourages vulnerability, and vulnerability creates intimacy, and intimacy is what transforms connection from surface-level exchange into soul-level interaction, and this is the level your soulmate bond has been preparing for, not just physical closeness, but emotional depth, and emotional depth feels different. It brings calm warmth instead of nervous excitement, understanding instead of confusion, and this emotional signature will guide you when the moment arrives, helping you recognize alignment without needing external validation, and this stage also emphasizes emotional integrity, staying true to your values, honoring your boundaries, expressing honesty without harshness, and integrity creates trust, and trust rebuilds connection more effectively than grand gestures ever could. And as this manifestation approach continues, you may notice heightened intuitive awareness. Sensing when timing feels right, when energy feels open, when conversation feels appropriate, and this awareness will help you avoid forcing moments and instead allow natural unfolding, because natural unfolding creates harmony, while forcing creates tension, and harmony is what allows connection to grow without resistance, and this phase also encourages patience with the process. Understanding that manifestation does not always arrive instantly, but through gradual unfolding that allows both hearts to adjust, integrate, and align emotionally, and patience does not mean waiting passively, it means staying present, engaged, and emotionally available without rushing outcomes, and this balanced patience is a sign of maturity, the ability to hold excitement and calm simultaneously, and this maturity is shaping how the Valentine shift will be experienced, making it grounded rather than overwhelming. And as this stage unfolds, you may feel a subtle emotional readiness settling into your body, the knowing that you can handle whatever conversation, interaction, or revelation appears, whether it brings reconnection, clarity, or transformation, and this readiness is empowering, because it frees you from fear of outcome, allowing you to choose connection from strength rather than need, and strength attracts respect, sincerity, and balanced emotional exchange. And balanced exchange is essential for healthy relationships, and this phase also invites you to release lingering attachment to past versions of the connection, letting go of expectations based on previous experiences, and embracing the possibility of something new forming from growth, and this release creates emotional space for fresh energy to enter, and fresh energy brings new experiences, new communication patterns, new emotional dynamics, and this renewal is part of spiritual awakening, the realization that love evolves as you evolve, and that relationships reflect the state of your inner world, and your inner world has been transforming through awareness and healing, allowing healthier reflections to appear externally, and this is why this Valentine moment feels destined, not because it guarantees a specific outcome, but because it aligns with your growth, and growth attracts meaningful turning points, and as this phase continues, you may notice symbolic confirmations reinforcing your direction, meaningful coincidences, emotional clarity arriving unexpectedly, signs that reassure you that timing is unfolding intentionally, and these confirmations are reminders that you are supported, that your journey is guided, that you are not navigating this alone, and this support allows you to remain open and grounded, trusting the process instead of controlling it, and trust is what allows manifestation to unfold smoothly, because it removes resistance and allows flow, and flow creates ease. And ease is the emotional signature of alignment, and as this manifestation approach stage nears completion, you may sense that a defining interaction is close, a conversation, an invitation, a message, or an emotional realization that brings clarity and movement, and this anticipation is calm rather than frantic, steady rather than rushed, because it is rooted in readiness rather than desperation, and that grounded anticipation is your sign that healing has stabilized, awareness has matured, and emotional alignment is strong enough to support what's coming next, and part 5 ends here. Because this is the approach phase, the moment where preparation becomes encounter and Valentine energy begins turning alignment into visible experience, setting the stage for the next phase, where the soulmate connection reaches its emotional turning point. Remain centered as this next stage opens, because now the Valentine energy moves into the emotional convergence phase, the point where both paths begin drawing closer and the connection prepares to meet itself in truth. And listen carefully, this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now, because convergence is not just about proximity, it's about alignment of intention, awareness, and emotional readiness. And this phase feels different from anticipation or preparation. It carries a quiet gravity, the sense that something meaningful is settling into place, and you may notice this through subtle shifts in your inner world, calmer thoughts about your soulmate, less emotional turbulence when memories surface, more clarity about what you truly desire, and this clarity is not accidental, it's the result of growth integrating into your identity, shaping how you approach connection from a more grounded place. And while this is happening within you, your soulmate is experiencing their own internal realignment, recognizing emotional truths they once avoided, feeling the pull toward honesty, and becoming more aware of the importance of addressing unfinished emotional chapters, and this mutual awareness creates resonance, the energetic harmony that allows two hearts to approach each other with less resistance and more openness, and resonance feels like familiarity mixed with newness, comfort blended with curiosity, and this emotional blend is what signals alignment, not dramatic intensity, but steady warmth, and steady warmth is what supports healthy interaction, because it creates emotional safety, and safety allows vulnerability to exist without fear of collapse, and vulnerability is essential for meaningful connection, and this phase is also teaching you to remain emotionally present when things begin moving forward, not dissociating, not overthinking, not retreating into old defense mechanisms, but staying engaged with awareness and intention, and this presence is powerful, because it allows you to truly experience the moment without distortion, and distortion once came from fear, insecurity, or attachment, and now those patterns are dissolving, making space for authenticity, and authenticity invites real connection, because it allows you to show up as you are rather than as you think you should be, and this authenticity will shape how the Valentine interaction unfolds, making it feel natural instead of forced, sincere instead of performative, and this phase also invites emotional courage, the willingness to express care, to communicate honestly, to engage openly without controlling the outcome, and this courage is rising because healing has strengthened your sense of self, allowing you to approach connection without losing stability, and stability is essential, because it prevents emotional overwhelm and allows communication to remain grounded. And grounded communication creates understanding, and understanding heals misunderstandings that once created distance, and this healing is happening gradually now, not through one dramatic moment, but through consistent emotional alignment and conscious interaction, and as this convergence continues, you may notice increased intuitive awareness, sensing when energy feels open, when timing feels right, when conversation feels appropriate, and this intuition will guide you toward moments of alignment, helping you avoid forcing situations and instead allowing natural unfolding, and natural unfolding creates harmony, and harmony supports sustainable connection, and this sustainability is what this Valentine energy encourages, not fleeting excitement, but meaningful progression, and this phase is also about releasing remaining emotional baggage that could interfere with connection, old resentment, lingering disappointment, unresolved expectations. And releasing these allows you to approach the moment with a clean emotional slate, not burdened by past experiences, and this emotional lightness creates openness, and openness invites new possibilities, and as this phase deepens, you may feel a sense of emotional readiness settling into your body, the knowing that you can handle whatever truth emerges, whether it brings reconnection, clarity, or transformation, and this readiness is empowering, because it frees you from fear of outcome, allowing you to remain present and engaged without attachment, and attachment once created anxiety, while presence creates peace, and peace allows intuition to guide your responses, and intuitive responses are often more aligned than logical reactions, because they come from emotional awareness rather than mental noise, and this awareness has been strengthening through your growth, allowing you to navigate connection with wisdom instead of habit, and this wisdom will shape how the Valentine moment unfolds, making it constructive rather than chaotic, and constructive interaction builds trust, and trust allows deeper emotional exchange, and deeper exchange strengthens the bond, whether that bond evolves into partnership, closure, or transformation into a different form of connection, and this phase also emphasizes emotional responsibility, the ability to own your feelings without projecting them onto others, to express needs without blame, to communicate boundaries with respect. And this responsibility creates healthier dynamics, because it replaces reactive patterns with conscious choice, and conscious choice shapes destiny, because it aligns your actions with your values, and alignment attracts experiences that resonate with your emotional frequency, and your frequency has been shifting through healing and self-awareness, allowing more aligned experiences to enter your life, and this is why this Valentine energy feels significant, because it reflects your evolution rather than repeating old cycles. And as this convergence stage continues, you may notice external confirmation supporting your internal shifts, conversations flowing more easily, emotional exchanges feeling lighter, synchronicities appearing that guide your attention, and these confirmations are reminders that alignment is active, that the universe is supporting your growth, that you are not navigating this alone, and this support allows you to trust the process instead of controlling it, and trust creates openness. And openness invites manifestation, and manifestation is approaching now. Through real interaction, real conversation, real emotional exchange, and as this phase nears completion, you may sense that a pivotal moment is close, a turning point where clarity becomes visible and the direction of this soulmate connection becomes more defined, and this anticipation is calm rather than anxious, steady rather than rushed, because it is rooted in readiness rather than desperation. And that grounded anticipation is your sign that emotional alignment has matured, that awareness has become embodiment, that growth has reshaped your foundation, and part 6 ends here because this is the convergence stage, the moment where both hearts approach alignment, setting the stage for the next phase, where Valentine's influence brings emotional truth into full visibility and the soulmate connection reaches its defining moment. Remain open as this next phase unfolds, because now the Valentine energy enters the emotional breakthrough stage, the point where truth surfaces and the connection steps into clarity, and listen closely, this message is for you, your heart needs this right now. Because breakthrough does not arrive with chaos, it arrives with understanding, with quiet realizations that shift perception and soften resistance. And this phase carries a unique emotional tone, a blend of relief and awareness, the feeling that something long held inside is finally ready to be expressed, and you may sense this within yourself, a desire to speak honestly, to share feelings without fear, to listen with patience instead of defensiveness, and this desire is not random, it is the result of alignment reaching maturity, creating space for emotional honesty to exist safely, and your soulmate is experiencing a similar shift, feeling compelled to confront their own feelings, to acknowledge what matters, to stop avoiding vulnerability, and this mutual readiness creates the conditions for breakthrough, because it allows two people to meet in truth rather than projection, and meeting in truth changes everything, because it dissolves misunderstandings and replaces them with clarity, and clarity brings peace, and peace creates emotional safety, and safety allows deeper connection, and this stage is also about courage, the courage to be real, to admit mistakes, to express appreciation, to acknowledge longing or regret without shame, and this courage is rising because healing has strengthened your emotional foundation, allowing you to hold vulnerability without collapsing, and this strength is important, because emotional moments can feel intense, and grounding allows you to remain present instead of retreating, and presence creates space for meaningful conversation, and meaningful conversation is what opens the door to healing, whether that healing leads to reconnection, closure, or transformation into a healthier dynamic, and this stage also invites you to practice active listening, not just hearing words, but sensing the emotion behind them, noticing tone, energy, and unspoken feelings, and this deeper listening allows you to respond with empathy instead of assumption, with understanding instead of defense, and these responses shape the emotional outcome of the interaction. Because how you respond influences how the other person feels safe to share, and safety is essential for vulnerability to flow, and vulnerability is the gateway to intimacy, not just physical closeness, but emotional presence and shared truth, and this intimacy is what your soulmate bond has been preparing for beneath the waiting, not just surface-level interaction, but meaningful emotional exchange, and this phase is also teaching you emotional balance. The ability to express feelings without overwhelming the situation, to share truth without accusation, to remain calm while being honest, and this balance is key, because it prevents conversation from turning into conflict and instead allows it to become constructive, and constructive communication heals more effectively than dramatic confrontation, and this healing is happening now through awareness and intention, and as this breakthrough stage unfolds, you may notice internal shifts, feeling lighter after expressing something important, feeling relief after hearing truth, feeling clarity replacing confusion, and these shifts are signs that emotional energy is being released, making space for new understanding, and understanding transforms connection, because it replaces guesswork with reality, and reality allows informed choices, and informed choices lead to healthier outcomes, and this stage also encourages you to let go of rigid narratives about how the relationship should look, allowing the connection to evolve naturally based on truth rather than expectation, and this flexibility is important, because growth requires adaptability, and adaptability allows relationships to change shape without breaking, and this ability to evolve is part of spiritual awakening, the realization that love is not static, it moves, changes, and deepens as awareness expands, and this expansion is happening now through emotional honesty, and honesty is freeing, because it removes the weight of silence, the burden of unspoken feelings, and as this weight lifts, emotional space opens, creating room for new possibilities, and these possibilities may include renewed closeness, deeper understanding, peaceful closure, or transformation into a different form of connection, and each outcome carries purpose, because each reflects the growth both of you have experienced, and this stage is also about honoring your own truth, recognizing what feels aligned, what feels healthy, what feels sustainable, and this self-awareness guides your choices moving forward, preventing you from settling for less than what supports your emotional well-being, and this self-respect is essential, because it creates boundaries that protect your heart while allowing love to enter, and balanced boundaries create emotional safety for both people involved, and this safety is what allows connection to continue growing without fear, and as this breakthrough stage continues, you may feel a sense of emotional empowerment rising, the confidence that you can handle truth, navigate difficult conversations, and remain grounded during meaningful moments, and this empowerment is the result of growth, the transformation of past pain into wisdom, and wisdom guides you toward healthier decisions, and healthier decisions shape destiny, because they align your actions with your highest good, and this alignment attracts experiences that reflect your emotional maturity, and this is why this Valentine energy feels significant, because it mirrors your evolution rather than repeating old patterns, and as this phase nears completion, you may sense that the emotional tone of the connection has shifted permanently, that something fundamental has changed, that clarity has replaced confusion, and this shift is calm rather than chaotic, steady rather than overwhelming, because it is rooted in awareness rather than impulse, and that steadiness is your sign that breakthrough has occurred, that emotional honesty has created new understanding, that growth has reshaped the connection, and part 7 ends here because this is the breakthrough stage, the moment where truth surfaces, healing occurs, and the soulmate connection steps into clarity, preparing the way for the final phase, where the outcome becomes fully visible and the new chapter begins.